In the long arc of your playwriting and screenwriting career, which I'll take the liberty of saying bends toward justice, where does this play fit in?
Oh, wow. You know, it is both an entirely expected new step, and it is also a completely radical change. It is fascinating. You know, the last time New Yorkers saw me was in All the Way. Enormous play, 17 actors, big movement, and now here I am, 2 actors in a very small space, confined for 90 minutes. And the way in which this play has rolled out is completely different. You know, we have licensed this widely. It is running, even as I speak to you right now, it is running 6 and 7 theaters in the United States and in Europe. All of that is very deliberate and very different. And now here I am, a week away from the very first preview of Building the Wall in New York Off-Broadway, and I couldn't be more excited.
Is it also, where else is it being put? Is it in Washington, D.C.?
It opened in Washington, D.C. last week. It's still running in Los Angeles. It's running in Portland, Oregon. It's about to open in Santa Fe, Miami, Tucson.
And what do you have you had any feedback, sort of memorable reactions so far in the places where it's open?
Oh, I stay very closely in touch with each of these theaters, and to the extent I can, I have actually gone out to each theater and interacted with the company and seen a performance. And to a man, each theater is having exactly the same experience. So a wildly intense, very theatrical event that just grabs audiences by the throat and doesn't let go. And in that last 15 minutes, you could hear a pin drop and a gasp as the curtain comes down. And audiences walk out of that theater completely charged up and energized and provoked and really compelled to kind of need to process what they've just felt, what they've just experienced. This is an intensely entertaining theatrical experience.
But where does it go from there? There's some people who argue that theater makers are very full of their own power, and that actually you could count on one hand how many, like Waiting for Lefty 90 years ago or whatever, or 80, how much theater actually led to any specific, change in the world.
Yeah, well, this is not an issue piece. This is not a living newspaper play in which I am advocating a specific policy solution to a specific policy problem. I am talking about fundamental issues of human engagement in the time of Trump, in this extraordinary and very specific in the choice of words, moment of crisis. That I feel that we need to be paying very, very close attention to. And to that end, I think theater, hardly anything is as effective as theater in generating that kind of focus and that kind of conversation. There is always the danger, of course, that you could just be preaching to the converted. And that's why the rollout of this play is so dramatically different. That's why I insisted from the beginning, no, I want this out now. Don't just wait, license it now, and I don't care who you license it to, big theater, little theater, rural, urban, blue state, red state. It doesn't matter to me. Get it out there in front of the people, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Can you tell me, really quickly for people who haven't seen the play yet, what it's about? It's sort of, even the website, it's kind of vague.
Yes. Well, we don't want to give too much away, but it takes place in the near future. Today is day 105 of the current administration, so day 1,000 in a maximum security prison holding cell in Texas, and an encounter between 2 people. Rick, who's a white middle-class former manager of a private prison which held illegal immigrants, and who has been convicted of some very serious crime, we don't know the details of which he rejects. And meeting him for the first time is Gloria, an African-American professor of history, who is there at his invitation to try to make sense of what happened exactly and why. But it's these 2 people in this very, very human, very passionate encounter wrestling with the weight of history.
She did
tap you on the shoulder.
I noticed, you take a lot of what actually happened at the time that you wrote it? Have things happened since then that you wish you had included?
And things have happened since then which I've included.
Oh, you've added?
Because the play continues to evolve. I did write it in a week, but I've continued to revise it in the 3 months since then, very intensively. And that has meant at times including current events that seem relevant to the story I'm telling. Not everything, but just to ground the play in a very concrete sense of reality, I've done